What's going on, you guys? Braden KG back with another NFL update video. I got some, new news, I guess, for you guys. Updates on, the Adam Thielen signing and a few other things regarding press conferences. I might make more videos on these, in the future, maybe to go more in depth and more in detail. It's whatever. Hopefully you guys have had a pretty good Monday today. We're just going to get started right now. Adam Thielen went on, guest starred in the Pat McAfee show this morning, and he talked with, Pat McAfee and all these things. He was getting asked questions about signing with the Panthers, if he had any details on who they're going to sign with the first overall pick. Obviously, no. I'm going to play some clips of him, talking, and I'm going to play the video. I'm going to play the whole thing, so you don't, just hear me talking the entire time.
I've been really planning on going to the Panthers, and went on a visit there just to hear him out, because I wanted to go somewhere that I felt like I had an opportunity to win a Super Bowl. And when I went there, I sat down with Coach, I sat down with the GM, sat down with all the coaching staff, and I felt like Carolina was the place to do that. I feel like there is a real chance to win a Super Bowl, and that gets me so excited. I think the staff, of how excited they were that I was there, and what I could bring to that offense, to that team, to help them win football games was exciting. And then all the pieces are adding. I mean, when they added Andy Dalton, that was a huge part to me going there. Just knowing that a veteran guy's put a lot of ball, can really groom and help lead a team and a young quarterback that will be coming in. And then Miles Sanders, Hayden Hurst, these guys, I know they're talking to a couple other receivers that could really help. The guys that they already have there. So, a defense that finished, I think, in the top 10 last year. I'm excited. I couldn't be more excited. I didn't know what was going to happen this free agency. There was other teams, that were kind of putting some pressure on, but, I couldn't be more excited to be a Panther. And I truly mean that.
And Adam Thielen had some really nice things to say about Frank Reich and the whole front office and what their plans are for the team in the upcoming years. And Adam Thielen, he wanted to go to a team where he can win a Super Bowl, possibly. So teams like the Chiefs, he already met with the Chiefs. Teams, Eagles, think of Super Bowl, teams that could go to the Super Bowl pretty easily. You'll think of those: Eagles, Chiefs, Bengals, 49ers. They'll just come to head immediately. He wanted to go and win a Super Bowl, basically. Go somewhere, get a ring, because he is, a little bit older. He's 32. He's a veteran wide receiver. He's a really nice addition to the Panthers' young wide receiver core. As I've already stated in my previous video, you guys should go check that out right after this one. And yeah, he wanted to go somewhere to win a Super Bowl. That's just easy to understand. He is older, like I've already said. He wants, get a Super Bowl before he's done. And, the sad thing is he's going to be done in a few years. And when he went to Charlotte and he met with Frank Reich and Scott Fitterer and the whole team, the front office, he didn't meet David Tepper, but he'll meet him later on, obviously. And when he left there, he was really impressed. He thinks he can win a Super Bowl on the Carolina Panthers. Dun dun, Q dun dun. That's really good news. Like, that's amazing news for the fans all over the place, right? That's good to hear. It's good to hear that Frank Reich and Scott Fitterer and the whole front office have plans and they're in win now mode. Really good to hear, right? And because we traded to the first overall pick, we're getting a franchise quarterback. You'd think they'd be tanking, right? And also last season, they'd be tanking for the first overall pick. They could have got it if they didn't win for Steve Wilkes. As sad as that sounds, if the Panthers didn't win any more games last season, and they won for Steve Wilkes, who the interim, head coach was, they would have gotten the first overall pick. Easy. They didn't have to trade for nothing. It's whatever. We're here now. I think we're in a better position than we were last year. And, trading away all these picks, DJ Moore, valuable, necessities for this team. And you'd think, millions of NFL fans around everywhere would think the Panthers would suck this season. Well, this offseason, the Panthers signed Von Bell, Hayden Hurst, and I'm going to include Andy Dalton because he's a veteran presence. He's going to be really good person to add in on the team for the rookie quarterback, C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young. And then they also bring in Adam Thielen. They add in, I think, a few defensive linemen. They re-signed, they restructured Shaq Thompson's contract. His cap hit was crazy high. He did it for the team. He said that earlier. Earlier today in other news, he said that, the news about his cap hit came out and his cap restructure, whatever, his contract. And he said he wanted, to take a pay cut for the team, to help the team. And Shaq Thompson's going to go down as one of the all-time greats for the Panthers, no doubt. I think I'm missing one right now. I can't think of Miles Sanders. Did I say Miles Sanders? I think I said Miles Sanders. I don't think I said Miles Sanders, maybe. But that's another addition of, a really good running back. I'd say top 15. I think he's better than Deontay Foreman 100%. It's as sad as that sounds, but, this offseason, the Panthers have been winning. I think they're rated one of the top 3 best off seasons or most improved teams. I think the Bears are number 1, Texans are around there, and then the Panthers. That sounds really good, right? And so, in addition, adding in the fact that Adam Thielen came in and he interviewed, and he had a whole meeting with Frank Reich and the team, and he would, he was impressed. He was impressed by the fact that they want to win a Super Bowl. Of course, any team wants to win a Super Bowl, but it was crazy to hear that this early they're already planning on it, right? Because the last few seasons, David Tepper and Scott Fitterer and Matt Rule, all they did was want to win. Every team wants to win, but it does get hard when your quarterback is Teddy Bridgewater. He was probably the best out of the 3. I'm gonna name 3: Teddy Bridgewater, Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold. Crazy as it sounds, Teddy Bridgewater was the best one by far. If Teddy Bridgewater was on the team last year, I think they would have been in the playoffs, 100%. But yeah, it's kind of hard to win games and go to the Super Bowl with those guys. And McAfee, kind of sucks to see, to say that. But it's really good news to hear, like I've already said. It's nice to hear that the Panthers are in win now mode and they're doing everything they can to help the team get better. Bring in, make sure that whoever they bring in has a really nice, welcoming, to the team. And he has a nice squad around him, because he does. Whoever's going to be C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young should be C.J. Stroud. I don't care. Whoever it will be, they're going to have a good team to come in. Adam Thielen states that, they have a top 10 ranked defense last year. And then they're going to be even better with all the signings that they've been getting. Hopefully they do get a corner in the near future. I'm hoping Shaquille Griffin can come in, maybe. And then the offense, they brought back every offensive lineman. Bring in Thielen. Terrace Marshall is going to be wide receiver 2. Laviska Shenault. He was previously wide receiver 1 in Jacksonville before he got traded. Miles Sanders, top 15. Running back, I've already said. And then Andy Dalton might start some games. He can win you some games. He's not terrible. He's not the worst quarterback ever. But we're definitely going to see C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young get a lot of playing time this season. Hopefully they might get the job. Hopefully they have good preseasons. And it's just nice to hear. It's nice to hear that the Carolina Panthers have a plan. They know what they're doing. And every NFL analyst and every NFL fan that doesn't think the Panthers are having a good offseason, or they don't know what they're doing, they might want to, double check themselves on that, because they know what they're doing. It's coming from Adam Thielen. They know what they're doing. And, coming from, my perspective and plenty of other fans' perspectives, their offseason has been fantastic. They're going to get a franchise quarterback for the first time in 12 years. Cam Newton was our last franchise quarterback, because that's when we drafted him, 2011. 12 years later, we're going to get one for 5 years, and we're in win now mode. It's awesome to hear. Maybe we're going to bring in another wide receiver, potentially DeAndre Hopkins. Bring in a cornerback, potentially Shaquille Griffin, like I've already said. Bring in these superstars, to really help this rookie quarterback who's going to come in have a better team to come in and play for. I think, honestly, whoever it is, Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud, I think they're immediately going to succeed. I think they're the most, pro-ready quarterbacks in this draft. 100%, no doubt. To summarize that whole thing and to move on to Frank Reich's press conferences and Scott Fitterer's press conferences today, Adam Thielen came in expecting, not to come to the Panthers. And he came in thinking he's not going to come here. He's meeting here just to test the waters, see Frank Reich. He loves Frank Reich, he said in that video as well. And he left impressed, and he wants to win a Super Bowl with the Panthers, and he thinks he can, and he thinks that the team is ready to do so. And that's good to hear. That's great to hear. Let me know, midway point to shift gear. Let me know what you guys think about that. If you guys think the Panthers are anywhere close to winning a Super Bowl at all, especially with Andy Dalton or a rookie quarterback under center. Let me know down in the comment section below. Just let me know what you guys think about that. I am really impressed by what he had to say about everything he had, when he met with the Panthers. I'm really impressed. I'm really happy about what he said, is what he's talking about. I'm really excited about the team and training camp, and, we'll see where we go from there. And to shift gears, Frank Reich and Scott Fitterer had press conferences this afternoon. Basically, I was watching Adam Thielen talking with Pat McAfee, and then, 30 minutes later, Scott Fitterer talks and Frank Reich talk. A nice little, morning/afternoon, Panthers-wise. And they're asked, they're asked about, all the quarterbacks and why they trade up and everything like that. And I've already said this in previous videos. I knew they were going to trade up. If you guys know me, I knew they were going to trade up. I knew in order to get your guy, you were going to have to be aggressive and trade up to 1 or 3. Either one was going to be good and get your guy. And they did so, and they're going to get Bryce Young and CJ Stroud. I couldn't have been more correct on that. I couldn't have been more right on. And they knew the consequences of that, potentially, losing all these draft picks. You're going to lose some compensation. They didn't want to trade DJ Moore, but he was one of those guys that the Bears really wanted. And in order to get your franchise quarterback, that's just something they had to deal with. And as much as that might suck, it had to be done. I'd rather, not need a franchise quarterback than need, a wide receiver 1. But the Panthers already had that dealt with, so we're good. And, he was just talking about free agency and signing in all these great players. He didn't really reveal anything about, who they're going to draft, of course, because they want to keep it a secret. But when Frank Reich came in, he was asked, and another thing, before we, shift to, Frank Reich's press conference, Scott Fitterer revealed that they were never involved in any Lamar Jackson talks, which is the first team to openly say that and state that.
We're interested in Lamar.
Like anything, you always have a conversation, but we were looking. He's a great option. There's a really expensive option, but we're focused on more of the draft picks at this point.
I'm not surprised. I'd rather have a franchise quarterback than Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson's expensive. A franchise quarterback who's accurate and can throw the ball and is mobile, I'd rather have that than Lamar Jackson 100%. That might be an unpopular opinion around Panthers fans and Panthers Twitter and whatever. But I think I'd rather have a franchise quarterback who is a ball placement specialist. I'm quoting CJ Stroud. They need to pick him. I think that's a consensus guy. And speaking of that, Frank Reich, he talked today, and he was asked about Bryce Young's height and if that might affect him getting drafted. He said no. He doesn't think that. He thinks he's a really good player. He's excited to see these guys' pro days and excited to see, look at all their options. Of course, their only 2 options are CJ Stroud and Bryce Young. I don't see any world, in any way possibly, that Anthony Richardson gets picked 1 overall, and I don't see Will Levis getting picked. They could have drafted either of them at 9, 100%. If they were to trade up, they know who they want, and it's either CJ Stroud or Bryce Young, like I've already said. But it's kind of scary to me that they talk so highly of Bryce Young because, I don't think that's who they should pick. Of course, height doesn't mean everything. But like I've said in my previous video, who should the Panthers pick in this, at number 1, you guys should also go check that out after this video. They should pick Bryce Young because he has the talents of Bryce Young, but he's taller, he's bigger, he can take hits. You know, he's taller. He's like 4 inches taller than him. He can see the field. And as we've already learned from shorter quarterbacks, Baker Mayfield, they're going to have to deal with batted passes. And that's just something that's going to get really annoying. It's going to tick off a lot of people, including me, because Baker Mayfield, his passes got knocked down a crap ton, way too many times. Like, it would happen more than once a game, more than twice a game, more than 3 times a game. Every game that he played, there was more than 3. And sometimes it would happen 2 times in a row. And it was getting really annoying to see that. And if you draft someone like Bryce Young, sure, passes might get batted, if you're throwing, a check down. It's not going to happen every time because he's going to be taller. He's going to be able to throw a higher pass. He's going to be easier to throw it over someone, because he's going to be able to see him. I think that's just one, little nitpick of Bryce Young's game. I don't think Bryce Young is trash by any means. I think he's a great player. There's a reason why he won the Heisman. There's a reason why he's a national champion. He's a winner. He's a great football player. But I think C.J. Stroud in this draft, if C.J. Stroud was not in this draft, I would pick Bryce Young in a heartbeat. But since he is, I think that's who they need to go for. Frank Reich likes taller quarterbacks. I think he's maybe just throwing a smokescreen at the Texans to maybe trade up. So then the Panthers can get compensation and trade back 1 spot. Maybe that is a little hint, but who knows? That was just a little summary of their 2 press conferences today. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this pretty long video. If you did, show some love. You already know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, all those nice things. I would really appreciate it. It would mean the absolute world to me. Thank you guys again so much for all the love and support you guys have been showing me over the past few days and weeks and months. I'm so thankful for all 255 of you and all the guys who've been liking all my videos, everything like that. I really, really do support and just show my appreciation to you guys. It really does mean a lot to me. And let me know what you guys thought about this video. If you guys think, different of me, if you have some different opinions, let me know. If you guys like the Adam Thielen signing, if you don't like any of the free agents that the Panthers have been bringing in, if you have a certain opinion about a quarterback that the Panthers should draft, let me know. I'd love to get, some feedback from you guys, and I can, respond to some of you guys. And that's all I got for you guys. Once again, hopefully you guys have had a really good Monday today. Take care. See you guys later. Peace.